Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new here, and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build video. So exciting news, we have officially reached over 50 subscribers. I think right now we're at 53, so thank you so much to all the new subscribers. Welcome. If you have not yet watched any of the other builds in which I have mentioned that my family and I are currently in the process of moving, it might be echoing. I hope that by cutting out the background noise after I finish doing this voiceover will help that and you will not be bothered by it. But other than that, let me give you some information on this build. So we're in Willow Creek and we're building on the Oakenstead lot. I have actually left the building the way that it was, and I'm going to tell you the story to that later in just a second, but I'm going to give you the build details. So we're in Willow Creek. We're on the Oakenstead lot, which is like the left corner of the screen. It's by that modern house that, do the land grabs live in there? I actually don't know. No, there's some family that lives up there. I'm actually not sure who it is right now. Anyways, the price for this is 396,066 simoleons. At least that was the latest stands of the price when I just checked a few minutes ago. If this voiceover is going to be terrible, it is actually almost 10 o'clock at night right now, and my husband and I have been moving and packing, and we've been doing our blue tape walkthrough. If you don't know what this is, if you have a new build and you're about to sign all the paperwork for everything and you're about to close, then you will do a blue tape walkthrough where you basically go through the house and you mark every single little bitty thing, scratch, paint imperfection, dent, anything that is missing or needs fixing. You mark everything with like a little bit of like a blue tape, like the painter's tape. And at the end of that, the house looks like a ladybug, but it's okay because everything is going to be fixed, and it's really just minor things. But it's exhausting, which is ridiculous to say that that's exhausting, but it really is, because you're so hyper focused for hours and you want to make sure that you see everything that is actually important. But at the same time, you're buying a brand new house, right? So you want it to be as close to perfect as you can get, and they're offering already to fix everything that you don't like. And it was so funny that in my new kitchen I'll have a pot filler. I'm just going to explain what a pot filler is. It's a faucet that you can it's installed above the stove, so that when you fill your pots, you don't have to fill them under the sink and then carry them over to your stove. You can just fill it up. You can set your pot onto the stove and then just fill it up. It's very fancy to me. I love it and I'm very excited, but the pot filler was like off by maybe 4 or 5 millimeters, which is nothing, right? But it's just off enough so you can see it, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm so OCD when it comes to stuff like that. Would y'all fix that? And they're like, oh yes, of course, no, I can see it now. And they're very sweet about it. And but yes, so that's what we've been doing today, and I'm exhausted. And other than that, we've been packing, and our kids are home on fall break right now, so they're troopers, honestly. They're just being very sweet, and they're playing with each other and entertaining themselves most of the day. Our dog has fleas, y'all. I'm not kidding. It's just like everything at once. And we've been dealing with the flea situation for 4 weeks, and we keep finding a new flea, and she has like her collar on, and we've done everything that we can do, but I don't know if she just picks them up again. My husband bathes her almost every day. I mean, there was like a week where he gave her a bath every single day, and then we're like, we can't bathe her every day. I mean, her skin is just drying out. And I am just talking over everything that I'm doing. I'm so sorry. I hope you don't mind. But let's get into the build, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what my thought was. So this, in the thumbnail, you can see, and I'll also put it in the screenshots, the before picture of this building. It's basically like an old, I'm imagining it's an old estate that's been in Willow Creek for a really long time, and it's historical, and somebody bought it and figured it was a really great place for a retirement home, keep the history, and let the older residents of Willow Creek live in it. They probably have known this building their whole life if they are from Willow Creek. So I thought it was just a nice history to the whole thing. And so I took the building, and I did not, I mean, I changed everything about it, but the walls and where on the lot the building was, the house was, has not been changed. I have moved the gazebo from one side to the other, and you know, that's people do that all the time, right? They take something that is historic, and they do it in this area where I live with houses, like whole houses. They pick them up and put them somewhere else just to preserve them, and I think it's such a beautiful thing to do. But yeah, the gazebo was shifted from the right side of the property to the left side, and it was upgraded and updated, and I'm thinking it might have been fallen into disrepair or something, and they have fixed it up and made it brand new and shiny again. And so it's still there, it's the original, and it's just on the other side of the lot. Something else that I wanted to do on this lot was to play with the terrain a little bit, so that there is a few different height variations along the lot. And I tried to pack it full with activities, and I feel like I've said this in the last lot a lot, in the last build that I did. If you haven't seen that, it was also a kind of a community lot more, or it was one of the new custom lot venue. It's a glamping retreat. So if you haven't seen that, I'm going to put a card on screen so you can check that out. And back to this build. Yes, I packed it full of activities. So I actually wrote down a list of the rooms that we have inside. I'm going to just read that off. So when you come in, there's like a sitting room where you can drink tea, and where they can welcome you to the retirement home, and you can meet the other residents, and it's kind of more like a sitting room. And then off to the side is the restaurant, which is connected to a little kitchen. But there's also that buffet table in there. I feel like for community lots, and especially for things like this where you're serving food to other Sims, I think it makes sense to put that in there. So I have added it. If you don't like that, you're welcome to take it out and just cook for your residents every day, if that's more your thing. But it's in there, and there is, I think, 4 dining tables in there, so plenty of room. There is also, on the bottom floor, there is also a game room. There is a workshop with pottery, with woodworking, with crystal creation, and then there's 2 what are they called? The thing that you're painting with. Do you think I can remember that? No, I cannot. Well, you can paint. And those I put like on a little side deck. And if I can think about what they're called later on, I will fix that, and I will tell you. But I think you know what I mean. Then there is also a music room, because I thought, maybe they hire a pianist. There's a piano in there. There's also a violin, a microphone, and a guitar. So they can hire a few musicians. And I think that there is a mod out there, and I might not be right on this one. Correct me if you know it. Please leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions on what mods would work really well with this kind of a venue, where you can have Sims play more as like a band together. I feel like I've seen something like that in a Let's Play somewhere. Yes. So music room, and then there's also a cafe, and that's really cute. We'll get to it. I'm getting ahead of myself. So there's a cafe. Then there is also a big deck Then there is another patio area by the pool, which we're kind of working on now. I have put another little gazebo kind of thing over here, which is what I'm working on right now. And I was thinking, if the residents have a birthday party or something else, they want to invite their extended family and they just want to have a little bit more privacy, as opposed to being inside with the other residents, they can kind of, reserve this space over here and have a family reunion there maybe. And there's also the pond, kind of like a more of a relaxing, quiet area on the property. I think eventually I'll put a what's it called? A yoga mat down there. There's also like a little water fountain in there and some benches. I just hit my mic. I hope you don't hear that. I am a kind of person, I talk with my hands a lot. So when I'm talking here, if you can hear something like clicking or something, those are my rings on my finger and they're just smacking around. And sometimes I'm like, oh boy, they're going to hear it and it's going to sound awkward. So I hope that doesn't bother you. I hope you can't hear it. But yeah, so you would not believe how many times I have actually changed out the flooring out here on this patio. And I stuck with this because I felt like it made the most sense. It was more... the other ones, there's a lot of them, and when you have there's a lot of the ones with like smaller pavers or brick flooring, which is something I love, but when it's such a large area, it makes it look so busy and it gives me a headache. So I stuck with this because I love it. This flooring, I believe, came with the Jungle Adventures pack, and it's one of my favorite outdoor floorings. So that's what I used here. And I think, that's what I stick with. Added some cute lights and made it really cute out there and made a bunch of different sitting options. And you can tan and you can hang out and you can read a book there and whatnot. You can grab a book in the library, which is upstairs. So we're going back to the things that they have to offer here. So there's a library upstairs. There's another sitting room. There's also a movie theater or like a movie room with a popcorn maker, large screen, and I think like 6 or 8 chairs up there. Then there is, what else is upstairs? There is 5, I'm going to call them resident rooms. So for the residents of the retirement home, there's 5 rooms. They are all set up so that you could have 2 Sims there, but like I have done for the previous builds that I have uploaded, I have actually created some Sims for this. So if you do want to see them and you do want me to upload those to the gallery, let me know in the comments down below and I'm happy to do that. I was a little bit inspired by Grace and Frankie, one of my all-time favorite TV shows. I love Grace and Frankie. I'm a huge fan of Lily Tomlin and oh no, now I forgot her name. What's her name? Jane Fonda. I love them. They're both so funny. If you have not watched that show and you would like to, I believe it's on Netflix. And it's just such a sweet show. And I love it. And I've binge watched that show at least 7 times. But I was inspired by those 2 ladies. And I have created Sims. I created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe 5 Sims. So I've created one that is inspired by Grace and one that is inspired by Frankie, and you will hopefully be able to tell when we go upstairs and decorate the rooms which room is for which one of those characters. And then I have created a couple. They're there together. So Grace and Frankie, they're either widowed or they're just single. You know what? If it worked like it did in the show, if their life went that way, then they're just single and they're rocking it and they're awesome. So they're by themselves, but there's a couple. I don't remember their names. I remember the lady's name is Lindsay. I used those 2 guys to play test. I forget, but there's a couple, and then there's a single guy, and he's like, I think he was very, very happily married, and his wife passed away a very, very long time ago. So he's not against finding someone here, but he's also not looking for it. But he's that kind of guy. He's kind of like an untouchable like a butch kind of, you know what I'm saying? He's like a rough and tough dude, and he's like a really deep voice. And if you have seen Grace and Frankie, there is that one guy, I think his name was Phil, that Grace kind of had a thing for while she was married, and she never did anything. There was this thing, and she told herself, you can't do that, and she did the right thing. And but he does make an appearance in the show anyways. I think that kind of was my inspiration for that guy. So his room is set up to be a bit more masculine, and then the couples is just like a grandpa kind of room to me. And then Grace's room is more feminine and a bit more bougie, and Frankie's room. So Grace's room is more feminine and bougie, and then Frankie's room is I was trying to make it eclectic, and y'all, I'm having a hard time with that because it's really not my style, and I'm completely talking over what I'm doing here. This was actually an addition that I did later on after I have already worked on the floor plan, I believe, upstairs. I thought, they have to have a room where they can really party. Some people underestimate our older folks, okay? There is a lot of life still left to be lived, and they needed a party room. They needed a bar where they can have their birthday parties, and it's Tuesday afternoon and who cares, and we're gonna go downstairs and we're gonna have a party. That's what this room is for. And I kind of wanted it to have that feel of a speakeasy, and so that's what I went for. Kind of reminded me of a bar that I once was. I actually was in a speakeasy that we have in the city, I don't live in the city. I live outside of the city in a small town, but the city that is closest to us, the big city, they have a speakeasy there. I'm sure they have probably multiple ones, but we found that one, and it is so cool. And it's underground, like a speakeasy used to be, and it's the coolest place. And so that's kind of what I was inspired by. This one doesn't look anything like the one that I actually was in, but that was my inspiration for that. So I wanted it to be dark and moody, and I added that little phone booth because I thought, I don't know, I just kind of felt like that was such a random thing, and I've seen that in bars before, so I wanted to add it because I found it as I was scrolling through the catalog. And then I also wanted them to have a gym, so they can have gym classes here. I am adding the the treadmills in here, but I do come in later on off screen, and I replace those with the new bikes that came for the gym, with a new pack. And honestly, I think that's the only so this build has been done for about a week, and I built this as soon as I found out that retirement homes were actually going to be a possibility, and so I started building this, and I had the footage and everything. And then today I just came in because of all the moving stress and everything. I wanted to make sure that I finished this video today so that I can schedule it for Friday, which, if you're watching it on the day that it's coming out, hi, today is Friday. It is not actually Tuesday. Is today Tuesday? No, it's not. Today is Monday. Today is Monday, and it is past 10 or just 10. I don't know. I don't know anymore, but yes. So the new pack has been out for a little while, and I've not played really with it. I don't play much, but I have play tested this, and it works, and it actually was a lot of fun. But yeah, retirement home was the first thing that popped in my head, other than the glamping thing, that I really, really wanted to build. And I've actually attempted it previously, but I don't have footage for that, and I don't think that I have ever uploaded it to my gallery or even saved it to my library. And my game got that glitch or whatever that was happening a little while ago where the save file was corrupted. So I know that is not true. I'm lying. Reverse, that is not true. I lost my save file because I got a new computer. My husband, so I'm going to tell you this real quick. So I've been building for such a long time, and my husband is the one that really was encouraging me to start a YouTube channel and publish what I'm doing. And so he surprised me a little while ago. I used to build just on my little laptop, and he surprised me, I don't know, like 4 months ago or something, and he bought me this super awesome gaming PC. And he was like, here you go, here's your PC. Now you do not have any excuses anymore. Start building and start creating your YouTube channel. So thank you. But yeah, why did I just tell you that? I have no idea. Oh yeah, save files. So when I transferred everything, I was like, you know what? Everything that is really important to me, the things that I have previously built, they're on my gallery. So it doesn't really matter to me what I lose. If whatever is gone, then it's gone. It's not that big a deal. So I started a brand new save file, and that's where we're in right now. And at the moment, I'm always building in the same save file. I'm backing it up though. I've learned. But it's always in the same save file, so I'm not sure if we're actually creating a save file here together right now. I do, like, further down the road, I would love to build a save file with you guys, and this has been something that I was thinking about since I started working on my channel. Just as in, you leave me suggestions and you leave me ideas that you have, or maybe families that you have created, and you want me to build for them. And then we create our save file. And this is going to sound a lot like what James Turner is doing. He's doing it with members. Obviously, I do not have members yet, maybe someday, but I would love to do that with my subscribers. So if you do have a family in mind and you want to give me a description of them in the comments down below, then leave me that, and maybe we can start working on that, and then I'll build something for the Sims that you create. And if you upload those to your gallery, then I'll download them and put them in my save file. And maybe out of that, we can create like a let's play, if you're interested. All right, so if you have any interest in that, just leave me a comment down below. Other than that, I'm working on the dining room now. I talked over the entryway, which is honestly, it's just like a chair or a couple of chairs and a couple of sofas, and then there's that tea set out there. And now I'm in the dining room. This right here, that blue thing, is that buffet table. You can take it or leave it. If you, like I said before, if you'd rather just have your sim cook for the others, then you can do that, or you can just leave it in there and use that. I have tried both ways and both works. But yeah, and then I thought, adding this little thing from the Dine Out pack. Yeah, I still don't know if it was, what was it? It was not an expansion pack, and it was not a stuff pack. Were they called game packs? Potentially. Anyways, so I added that. I thought, every day there's a new menu, and then the residents, they can come and check out what the menu is, or if they invite their family over for dinner or something. And this is also, I think you can tell, but this is like a very fancy retirement home. And the reason that I wanted to build something fancy is because my husband and I, when we first moved back to the States, or my husband moved back to the States and I came with him, he actually had 2 jobs, and he worked as a security guard in a retirement home close by. And I got to visit him there a couple of times and meet the residents, and it was so fancy. It was beautiful. And they had all of these things, like all of the things, minus the basketball courts. They had tennis courts and they had pools and stuff. But it was so fancy and it was so beautiful. And the staff was so kind and sweet. And the people that lived there, oh, y'all, they had stories. I could have sat there for hours just listening to the stories and the things that they had experienced in life. It was beautiful. And they were just so sweet, and they really enjoyed living there. Obviously, it comes with a big price tag. Those retirement homes are not the norm, and they're not cheap. But it's nice to see that some people do have the money to enjoy that time of their life and really just, go all out and do whatever they want to do, and have help if they need help. And if they don't, they had like even little like separate houses. It wasn't just like rooms up there. They had just rooms, then they had like full apartments with kitchen and everything, and then they also had single houses or single family homes with like 1 story. But anyways, super beautiful. I'm still losing my voice a little bit. I had a raspy voice last week, And now that I've been talking for almost 30 minutes, it's coming back a little bit, but we can make it through for sure. But yeah, moving on, across the hall from the dining room, there is going to be the game room. So it's really simple. I tend to, now that after this, was it the Casanova something kit came out, I gravitate towards always using that game table, because it just, to me, that one is the nicest looking one. The other ones look cheap, or because the one is like that fold out table, or to me it looks like a fold out table, and I'm just like, meh. Like for outside, or this is a classy place, like I just said, so it needed a classy table, so I feel like that one was that classy table. But anyways, yeah, other than that, there's like a couch in there and then bookshelves, so you can read books. But there's also upstairs the library. The actual library has computers in it and stuff, and we'll get to that. But now we're moving on to the cafe, and that's one of my favorite rooms. And as I was building that, I was watching Gilmore Girls, because it is fall, and in fall I rewatch Gilmore Girls, and I'm on probably my third go around this season, because when I build Sims, I usually watch Gilmore Girls now in this season. Before then, during the summer when I was building, I was watching Elementary, which is also a really cool show if you enjoy like crime mystery kind of things. Elementary is a great show. I love that show. It's very funny, and I love it's Sherlock Holmes, right? But it's like a more like a spin-off of Sherlock Holmes. It's the names, really. I think that's mostly where the comparison ends. I mean, the Sherlock Holmes in this show is extremely intelligent and smart and educated and stuff. So yeah, but anyways, we're already done with the cafe. I whipped that up so quick, and to be fair, there's not much in there. It's just the cafe thing, the cafe counter. You can hire a barista, or you can do it yourself. I tried both ways work. And then there's that deck outside, and then I think we're moving upstairs. I don't know, we do not. We are going, I think, next in the workshop. No, we're not. I guess we're not going in the workshop. I guess we're going in the music room first. So yes, music room, like I said before, there's going to be a piano, a guitar, a violin, and a, what's it called? Microphone. And I wanted the music room to be extra fancy. And, heavy drapery and fabrics and stuff, they help with sound. At least in some capacity. I'm not actually sure how that works, but in my mind, that was something that made sense. And so that's what I did. So like very heavy curtains, beautiful curtains. And this is where they can come and they can have little concerts, or maybe one of them used to be a pianist or a musician, and they hold concerts in that room. But either way, it's just more for your Sims to do, and everything works. Tried everything out. Yeah, I've never play tested as intensely in my whole life as I am doing now for you guys. But yeah, there's going to be a few chairs. Nothing crazy. Other than that, there's nothing there. I, at some point, was contemplating putting that, what's it called? Like the little globe bar in there. But then I thought, really for what? If you want to have a drink, you can go downstairs in the bar, and then that's where you're doing that. And there's also, like, downstairs in that bar, there's multiple speakers in there, and then there's also a jukebox in there, so plenty of music. I don't believe I put that record player. Here's a question. Is there like a lore to it or something for that new record player that came with the Bella Goth kit? Glam something. Is there a lore to it? Why does it have red steam coming out? I don't like that. I tried it out and there's red steam coming out, and the first time I tried it out and actually played with it was in my vampire build that I did the other day. So if you haven't seen that, then go ahead and check it out. I'll leave a card on the screen for that one. But I thought it might have something to do with vampires, and I was like, oh, well, that's cool. And then I tried it out here on this lot, and I don't like it. Why is it red? I'm not a fan. It's just weird. It's just like red air coming out. Anyways, moving on. I still don't know what those things are called. Why don't I know what those things are called that you use to paint with? I know the German word, Staffelei. Did you know that? If you didn't know that, that's German for whatever the name is in English. I'm completely drawing a blank right there. But anyways, yeah, so this is set up as a workshop. So there's, like I said, crystal creations, pottery, woodworks, and painting in there. You could also add more if there are more. Are there more things that you could do in a workshop? I don't know. There is a hallway. Nothing fancy, just a hallway. That's it. And then we are going to move upstairs. So this is going to be the library, and I figured this guy, again, I'm asking for help. If you know who this guy is, actually, you know what I need to start doing? I need to start just reading the descriptions for the items, but then my video editing takes even longer because I have to cut all of that out. But I'm having such a hard life. I have to do that. No, but seriously, I have to go and read it. But my thought was, this was either the founder of Willow Creek, or he was maybe the man that built this house originally, and he was being honored with his statue being in this library. So that's why that's there. Other than that, there's 4 TVs. I almost said TVs. There's 4 computers in there, PCs. So if you wanted to, I mean, I don't know if there is a purpose, or if there would be a reason for that, but you could also exchange one of the computers with the research and debate. No, that's not what it's called. Not research and debate, but the research thing. That massive thing that is like so expensive, you could change that out if you wanted to. You could also make this a different kind of a community lot. You could probably turn this into a rec center if you wanted to, honestly. Or a hotel. You could also turn this into a hotel. That's a thought. Shall we build a hotel? I actually did build a hotel before, years ago, like when cottage living, the cottage living expansion pack came out. I actually built a hotel. It is on my gallery if you're interested in finding it. It was a long time ago, but it's up there. I have no idea what I called it, but it's on my gallery. My gallery ID is VinnasNook, VinnasNook, if you want to check it out. But we are moving into the residence rooms, and this is the room that I was talking about. Was inspired by Grace from Grace and Frankie. So this is more like a bougie room. She has her little makeup vanity. It's very bright and airy, and it's very particular. Everything is in a very specific place, and this is how she wants it, and it's not very cluttered, and it's not very personalized. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. I just had a yawn. I'm so sorry. You know, I'm contemplating cutting things like that out or just leaving it in, and just I'm just a human. I'm just an overtired mom and wife, and I do YouTube videos, and then this is what happens. I yawn, and you guys please forgive me. But yes, so not very cluttered. Her room is very particular. I do not show the bathrooms, I don't think. I think I started here, and then I figured, the build was already so long. No, I actually did. I left this one bathroom in there, and completely honest, full transparency, the bathrooms are just copy pasted because it's a bathroom. And I figured that they gave all the residents the same exact bathroom. And if you did want to personalize it and you would want to add some clutter to it, feel free to do so. But I just didn't. They're all the same. So I do show you this one, and then I will cut out all of the bathrooms. And also, I didn't include the bathrooms in the screenshots because you know what? Photography is not my strength, okay? So for me doing the screenshots, I'm always like, what would be the best angle? And I have no real idea. So I kind of just do it the way I like it. but taking screenshots in those 2x3 rooms is really hard. And you're never going to see everything, and then it just kind of feels claustrophobic to me, so I don't enjoy taking the pictures. So I don't know that you guys want to see that. If you do want to see the bathroom pictures, I mean, you know, if I ever do like a really cool bathroom that is not just a basic 2x3, definitely I will include the screenshots. But I think from now on, if it's just a basic bathroom, I'm just going to cut it out, okay? If you're upset about that and you do want me to leave those in, then just let me know in the comments. But I don't think anybody's mad if I cut those out. But this is the room for the couple, for Lindsay and her husband. Don't know what his name is. And this is more set up like so this is one of the bigger rooms, and they're not all similar. They're all different. And I figured that makes sense because it's built in an old house. And yes, they have added, I think this whole section that we're building in now has been added onto it. But you kind of work with what you got, because they built the house so that the exterior worked well with the original exterior. So you just kind of had to work around what you got on the inside. So the rooms are not identical. And I believe this one is the biggest room. So that's what I gave to the couple because they're in here together. And you can see that all the residents brought their own furniture from at home. And it's not like this sterile, cold hospital feel. Ooh, should we maybe revisit the hospital lot at some point? I have never actually worked on that. I have redone the police department before, but I never uploaded it because I wanted to make it look like in Rizzoli and Isles. If you don't know that show, it's a really good show as well. Crime. But yeah, I tried to recreate that for Rizzoli and Isles, but I have no footage of that. I don't even have the police station anymore. But yeah, we could do that. So let me know what you would like to see. I'm not 100% sure or set on what I'm going to be doing next. So if you have any ideas, let me know. I did get a comment last time. If you left that, thank you so much for leaving it. Asking about a park. So I'm assuming you're talking like a park for the town, right? So maybe a playground, maybe some gardening. If you have any like specific ideas for that, let me know, okay? But I love that idea. Excuse me. I love that idea, and then maybe that's something that I'll be working on over the next week. So yeah, playground, pond, maybe some fishing, maybe some gardening. What else do you want to see in that? I do want to, try to do a playground for the community or for the city, for the town. With that modular set that came in and like a sandbox or stuff. So I do have some ideas, but yeah, thank you for leaving that comment. I'm really excited that somebody did, and I do read the comments, and I'm really grateful that you guys are taking the time to watch my videos. And I know life is busy, and I hope that my videos are a nice way to unwind and relax a little bit and enjoy it. And if you ever do want to just, not have me talk the whole time and you would rather listen to some music, then you just let me know that, and I'm not upset, okay? Because in all honesty, it's about the building to me more than I do enjoy talking, and I think I'm getting more comfortable talking to my screen. And I'm still saying a lot, but I think that's just how I talk, honestly. Like when I'm having a full-blown conversation with an actual human, I say that all the time too. And now that I'm doing the voiceovers, I notice it more and more. I think when I have like a train of thought that just keeps on going, then it's not so severe. But sometimes when I'm just like, okay, what are we going to talk about next? Then I do tend to say But this is the room. I think this is the last room that I talked about. I completely talked over Frankie's room. I am so sorry, y'all. I hope you were paying attention. I was really not paying attention because I was telling you some sort of story. I'm so sorry. I did talk over Frankie's room, but hers, I tried to clutter up as much as I could. And like I said, I'm having a hard time with it because clutter is just not my thing. But I hope you enjoy that room. It's right next to the couple's room. And then this one is down the hallway from Grace's room. And that's the single guy. And so I tried to make it more. I added a picture of a woman, and I thought maybe that's that over here in the corner you'd be able to see it, maybe. I thought that maybe was his wife. And then there's another picture on the opposite room, on the opposite wall of the room, and I thought maybe that's his mother. I don't know. That was just, he just brought pictures and art. And then in the middle of that room, I completely left bare. So that is just for your own touch. You can add your own personal thing, and you can do whatever you would like to do with that. Then this up here is just going to be another hallway, and I was having a hard time with another hallway. You needed to get to those rooms, and I really didn't know what else to do with it. I think I changed out the door to that patio or decking area, and so you're going to have access to that from I changed it. But I did that. And then this one, this was like an awkward room, and at that point when I was doing the floor plan, I hadn't planned on adding a movie room, and then I thought, well, that would make sense. That's, another thing to do, because most of the residents, I actually did not add what's it called? A TV in it. I did add one in the couples room, but not in all the other rooms. So if they wanted to watch a movie together, they have like regular movie night or something, they can have it here as popcorn and hot cocoa, and they can do that. Also, this is something that I cut out because it's very generic. There is an apartment upstairs. I do add the screenshots to it later on. So if you do want to see that if you're even planning on downloading it, I'm talking as if you are, but if you are downloading it, you're obviously going to see it, but you're going to see in the screenshots that I have added an apartment, but I have not furnished. Now it is furnished, but I recorded it, but I didn't want to make this video longer than it needed to be. But I'm going to go around, finish it off, and that's it from me today. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoy this. If you want to download this, you can find it on my gallery. My gallery ID is VinnasNook, VinnasNook. You can also find it under the hashtag VinnasNook and under the hashtag Oakenstead Retirement Home. I also, if you do look on my gallery, you can see that there's other hashtags, and it is just making it easier to find if you're just scrolling on the gallery, because I'm trying to do what I can to make people notice my channel, obviously. So there is more hashtags, but I usually just add them later on. So your safest bet is just to find my gallery with my gallery ID. And all of that information is always in the description down below. But yes, also, if you did like this video, then please leave a like and hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out and helps my channel be more visible to other people. And I'm so grateful for every single like and every single subscription? No. For every single person who subscribes to my channel. It really helps me out, and I'm very grateful for it, and it makes me extremely excited to see that number going up every day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time in the Nook. Bye, guys.